Good evening to each of you. I am Dr. Corrine Johnson, and I would like to welcome each of you on tonight to day number 59 of the 60-day marriage challenge. Good evening, and welcome once again to each of you on tonight. I pray that each challenge, each day, is really transforming your marriage and bringing you all into a better place when it comes down to your marital relationships. And so as you come on tonight, go ahead on and like, tag, and share the video with some other married people that you know that need to hear the word of the Lord on tonight. And so on last night, your challenge was I gave you some mistakes to avoid in your marriage when resolving conflicts. And so, for those of you that missed on last night, go back and listen to it because on tonight, I'm going to give you some strategies. And this is your challenge is to use these strategies when you're resolving conflict in your marriage. And so, on tonight, I want to give you some strategies to consider, when you want to know more ways of resolving conflict. And so the first strategy on tonight for resolving conflicts is to talk to each other. And I know it may sound simple, but a lot of times in marriage, some couples make it difficult to talk to one another, but that's going to be the strategy for resolving conflicts is to communicate. And so that's your first step on tonight is to talk to each other. You have to determine together what you want to accomplish. And in many cases, your goal may be to work out your issue with one another so that you can move on and not worry about that particular situation anymore. And so I'm sure that you probably don't want the same issues keep coming up over and over and over, right? So the only way to avoid that is to sit down and talk to one another. And as you are talking, don't just listen to your mate and you just listening, just tapping your feet, listening, waiting to respond, but you want to listen to understand so that you can begin to look at the situation from your mate's perspective instead of just looking at it from your perspective only. And so the next strategy that you want to use when resolving conflict is think about what each one of you all said to one another. Because when you are communicating, both of you need to be able to speak what's on your mind. And it's going to help if you listened to what your spouse had to say. And they should listen to you as well. And so after each one of you all have said what you need to say, then you can discuss the situation and then come up with some ways work this thing out so it doesn't keep resurfacing over and over in your marriage. And so the first strategy on tonight is to talk to each other. The second strategy is to think about what the other person said. And then the third strategy on tonight is to find common ground. Because one way that you should be able to work out conflict is to find that common ground with your mate regarding whatever the issue is affecting you. Well, for instance, if both of you feel like you need more time together, this is common ground for addressing a problem that you are facing. And you can determine the best ways to work more time with each other into your schedule. And the main way to do that is to make sure that you're prioritizing one another. Because a lot of times we're so busy as couples, and that's why you see people that's been married for 20 and 30 years, and then all of a sudden they get a divorce, and then you ask them, why you get a divorce? Well, we just kind of grown apart. Of course you did. Because you're not spending that quality time together. But whatever the issue is that you all are dealing with, you got to find common ground. So the next thing on tonight, number 4, the next strategy for resolving conflict is to work through all issues. Don't avoid them, but work through all of them. Because the conflict solution is that there isn't just one solution to any problem. There are different solutions to every problem. And it can be helpful to remember that you don't have to figure out to solve them yourself. You and your partner can come together. You and your spouse can come together and determine how to work through all the issues that you're facing so you can lessen your conflicts overall. And you got to do this as often as you need to do it. Come together, sit down, talk about what it is. For an example, you as the wife, you may be walking around the house mad. Your husband don't even know why you mad. And so when he comes to you and say, what's going on, babe? Instead of saying nothing, when really there's something, take the time to say, let's sit down and talk about it. Let's sit down and talk because, I feel like, both of us are working, and when I get off from work, I got to come home and cook. I got to clean. I got to wash clothes. I got to help the kids with homework. I got to do everything while you sit on the couch. And so that's why I'm frustrated. That's why I'm aggravated. You gotta speak your mind. You gotta say what it is. And I really need you to help me. Whether it's helping the kids with their homework, putting on a load of clothes or something, I need you to help me. So you got to work through all the issues. Number 5 on tonight, the 5th strategy and the last one, when it comes down to resolving conflict, is to keep working at it. And remember that conflict resolution, it may not happen overnight. It may be a work in process. And this is why you should do your best not to give up. You got to work at solving your conflicts all the time with each other and make sure that you communicate and take time to listen to one another as often as possible. And this can help you get through any arguments and prevent other arguments from occurring. And so on tonight, your challenge is to take all 5 of these strategies that I've just given you and apply them to your marriage when there is conflict. And so on tonight, thank you all so much once again for tuning in and joining with me for day number 59. And I want you to stay tuned as well because my husband will be on here at 8 o'clock for the Ephesians 5 daily devotions for husbands. So tell your husbands to tune in to that as well so that you can transform your marriages even the more as you tune in to the Ephesians 5 segment as well. So God bless each of you. Thank you so much for tuning in with me on tonight. And it is my prayer that you will go forth and have a great evening. God bless you.